All right. Now. All right. Hold on a minute. All right. Let's get to work.
And everybody has to be on deck. And what I said is, number one, with this, you know, with America losing empire, number one. Number two, the automation that's coming and stuff that's coming. I mean, jobs are basically.
Okay, he's been saying that forever. Okay, about automation, America losing empire. Kenneth Thomas exposed him with that video where he actually showed BGS's face. And that video was from 10 years ago, from 2012. Okay, where he was talking that same stuff, talking about the fall of Western civilization and all that mess. This nigga been saying this shit for 10 years, y'all. This shit ain't nothing new. Okay, he been saying this shit for 10 years. All right.
They're leaking jobs. The banks are in trouble. This system is getting ready to go through some humongous turmoil. Because a lot of stuff that you hear in mainstream media, because I stopped listening to mainstream media for the most part, man, 20 years ago. So I listen to all the stuff that's underground stuff that they don't tell you, which is why I try to present on my channel. Which is why you have to listen to the totality of the channel and not just the stuff that talks about men and women, because that's just a minor point. Well, what I was saying is, if you don't get all hands on deck, especially black women, it's going to impact them, number one, because they're going to lose their jobs. You're going to have to come back to the table and be a lot more humble. Okay, because they are, that's not they will lose it, they are losing their men. It is what it is. Okay? Number two, with what's coming, you think that it is bad. Now, I was sitting in my grandson's second grade class, because, you know, he's coming out of private school, he's going back to private, he's going to public school, and there's discipline issues. So I'm sitting in class trying to figure out, okay, why is a kid that has been fairly good, that has these teachers spent, having discipline issues in the second grade class? So I'm in the second grade class, and I'm noticing that he's 2 years ahead of everybody else. But the thing is, there's kids there just like a year behind. They can't even read in second grade. And the disparity between it. And then when I talk about a huge metropolitan, you know, when I talk about a huge class over, she's got 40 kids, she's got 25 kids. But what she has to deal with, disparity is so huge. And I'm thinking that with what's coming, the tech that's coming, the technological society that's coming, 90% of these kids will not make it. They will not make it in what...
All right, first of all, that's just elitism right there. That's tech elitism right there. Okay, to say 90% of these kids won't make it. All right, that's a completely inaccurate statistic. All right, now he's saying, okay, the kids are struggling in reading, they're struggling in math. Okay, a lot of kids struggle at that age. Okay, I struggled with reading and math and stuff when I was in first and second grade. That doesn't mean that they're gonna all grow up and be failures in life, though. Okay. You know, I was thinking about this earlier, and you know, this is the same white liberal talking point that, you know, these poor black kids in the inner city, they can't learn, they don't know this, they're behind in math, they're behind in this, there's a lot of white kids stuff in the country are behind in a lot of stuff too. Okay, it's not just black inner city kids, but he wants to paint this narrative, and liberals do this all the time, about black inner city kids, that they can't perform, they're not smart, they can't do this, can't do that. We need more government social programs for them, and we need to spend billions and billions of more dollars to try to make them score higher on the SAT, even though it failed all the other times they did it in the past. Okay, but I digress. Let's continue.
You know, these kids are zennials. Well, yeah, they're zennials. I mean, young zennials. And in the 15 years that they have to go through before they get the job market, okay? That job market, a lot of the job market won't exist. If they don't have the knowledge and the abilities to actually survive in this world, they're not going to make it. And my kids are at the top of the food chain, not at the bottom. And we're here debating about pussy. And 90% of your children will not make it.
Okay, so if they don't make it, what's gonna happen to them? Okay. Are they all gonna go to jail? Are they all gonna be homeless? Are they all gonna be destitute on the street? Okay. Is that's what's gonna happen? Okay. Look, people adapt. I don't care what you say. People adapt. There is no such thing as 90% of people failing. Human beings are very adaptive creatures. People will find a way to make it. They'll find a way to hustle and make it. And no, not everyone has to go to college or have a degree or anything like that. Some people can figure out ways to make money, okay, on their own. Okay, and he's not taking that into account.
Years from now, will not make it. What are we arguing about? What are we fighting about? I'm trying to get women to wake up. If you care for your children, stuff that you're doing, the bullshit you do.
Okay, he said he's trying to get women to wake up, but has he had any success in that? You know what I mean? Let's continue.
Doing right now has to stop. If you care about yourself and your children, the bullshit you're doing has to stop now. Now. Because by 2025, when 2025 is the target, we argue about that all the time on my panel. Me, Mike, and even the Black Brain Trust, they just did something last night about what's happening with China and the trade war, the banks, and the automation that's coming, right? And this shit could crack in 2-3 years. This shit could crack next year if the banks don't kind of patch themselves together. If we have a bank run, this month or next month, even before the election year cycle starts, man, you could look at anything from a deep depression to a fucking civil war in this country, and we black people are not ready.
All right, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Ain't gonna be no damn civil war in this country. Okay, all this mess about the recession and all that's just propaganda from Trump haters. Okay, there may not even be a recession under Trump. Okay, but. And, they keep on saying this stuff. The job market is actually very strong right now. Okay, we're at the lowest joblessness rate in a long-ass time. And this nigga, he's sitting up here just spouting this bullshit, man. This doom and gloom bullshit. But don't worry, my man Rude MP, he about to come up and get in BGS's ass real quick. In a minute, but we'll let BGS continue to run his mouth until Rude MP, rises to the occasion and gives BGS that business.
Ready? They're not ready for this shit. They're not hearing this shit. And that's just the short term. In 10 years, we have an artificial woman. You have automated jobs. You have artificial intelligence taking 90% of the job. I mean, fucking 90% of the goddamn.
Hey, what the fuck do an artificial womb got to do with any of this shit? Okay? You supposed to be talking about the economy and shit and how niggas ain't gonna make it. And then he slide in the artificial womb. Like, what the fuck that got to do with anything? With niggas scholastically making it. You see what I'm saying? See, this is the... this is the dichotomy this nigga is in. Let's continue.
You have jobs. Yeah. You have 100 fucking million white people on the street right now that cannot find a fucking job. My white people. You got 100,000 white men.
No, what? He said 100 million white people on the street. That's not true. We don't have 100 million homeless people in this country of any race. Now, how could he say there's 100 million white people on the street? Okay, this nigga is throwing around all types of weird ass numbers and fake. Talking about 90% of people are gonna fail, and this is we got 100 million white people on the street. So are they all meth heads? Do we have 100 million meth heads walking around? Okay, is it? Let's continue.
Killing themselves. One thing I can say about black men. I was just thinking about this before I got on. One thing I can say about black men. have.
Okay, so he talking about white men killing themselves. White men have always killed themselves for various reasons. Okay? Shit. A white man would kill himself because he can't get a date for a Friday night. Okay? Shit. Okay? Why is that something he bringing up in a hangout is supposed to be for black people about black issues? He talking about white men killing themselves. You know what I mean? This is the kind of shit I'm talking about.
An incredible ability to take mental and physical pain, because if they hadn't, a lot of black men would fucking put a bullet in their mouth.
You know, a lot of the black people who watch this hangout had an incredible ability to take the torture of you sitting up there ranting and talking for this long, BGS. I think you should commend them. Okay? But I digress. Let's continue.
Years ago. That's what amazes this country, the ability of black men to actually take mental and physical pain, to be under this kind of stress, and still walk around halfway sane without offing themselves. Because white boys offer themselves left and right. I'm talking about, we're talking about hundreds of thousands a year. The opioids taking out 70,000, another 30,000 taken out by them just putting a bullet to their goddamn head because they can't see a future. The thing is, and everybody, I've been warning about this stuff for about 5 or 6 years, telling everybody, hey, you got to get right because this is coming. Even I have a slogan that everybody probably even uses, 2019, get right or get left. And I meant that. And I'm sitting in the class, I'm sitting in my grandson's class, the second grade, and looking and seeing that my 90% of these kids may not make it. And this is not a poor area. This is not the deep ghetto. This is just a middle-class black neighborhood with a small classroom size. With a decent teacher. She wasn't a bad teacher. She just had a lot to work with. The thing is the parents are not seeing what they need to do for their children. I started teaching my grandson at the age of 3 to prepare him. Black folks don't see it because they're too wrapped up into what's going on now because it's too much fun out there. It's too free out there. It's just getting ready to go away. And people ain't ready for it. Black women come back to the goddamn table because they see the shit coming. Because they see the notices. They see their girlfriends losing goddamn jobs. They see people getting laid off. I have clients that can't find work. The thing is, we're here bouncing around talking, bullshit.
Okay, why don't they start a business?
I don't talk this way. Very seldom I talk this way. I don't like scaring people. I don't talk this way because I like scaring people. Because you don't have to believe me. You can Google it. You can pick up. You can find articles. All the mainstream press right now. Mainstream press right now. Just I get sent this shit every day. Wells Fargo getting ready to lay off 20,000 people. Getting ready to be replaced by automation. That's in the banking sector. Your retail sector is getting wiped out this year. Whatever's left of it. Your banks are in fucking trouble. If you look at the repurchase market by Fed, who took them off the Libra because. All
right, now I'm gonna get him with the retail part. Amazon, only 10% of retail is done online. 90% of it is still done through brick and mortar stores, and of that 10%, only 3% is made up of Amazon. Okay, so all of that right there is inaccurate information. The vast majority of retail is still brick and mortar. That's the vast majority of retail. Okay, so you can see right here, this nigga, all he wants to do is just weave together this doom and gloom narrative. That's all he's interested in. He's not interested in actually giving you unbiased factual information from which you can make an educated view. You can get an educated view of what's going on. That's not what's going on. This nigga got an agenda. Let's continue.
Banks rose up in 2007, 2008. You have double the problem now. They just spent $200 billion trying to keep the banks solvent. $200 billion by the Fed to keep the banks solvent in the middle of a fucking trade war. And which is the reason I'm getting frustrated, because the thing is, y'all ain't listening. And basically what I'm saying is not doing any good. The reason I use the language is so that you can
because what you saying ain't nothing but fear porn, nigga. Ain't nobody trying to hear this shit. It's just fear porn. What you saying is not relevant information to people's everyday lives. What you're saying is not going to help anybody. It's just a narrative that you pushing because you just trying to sell fear porn. That's it. You're not selling anything useful that's going to help anybody.
actually talk to people that know stuff. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he was getting his shoes shine, and he said the guy next to him owned a.
Okay, now let's pay attention to that. He said he was talking to a friend of his that was getting his shoes shine. Okay, that's code word for a white man. I told y'all, this nigga don't hang. He don't hang out around. BGS do not hang out around niggas. He hangs out around liberal whites. Okay, he hangs out around upper class liberal whites and liberal Jews. Those are his buddies and his friends. He don't hang around black people. He only fuck with black people on the internet because he, you know, white people won't listen to him, so he gotta come and talk all his bullshit to black folks. But this nigga don't hang around niggas like that. Alright, let's continue.
An olive grove. And he said he was gonna have to sell it. He's going out of business. He might have to go out of business because he can't sell his olives. And so he asked him simply some question, have you automated your all of that automated your growth? He said, yeah. He still can't make money because of trade war. He said 10 years ago he employed 100 people. Now he's down to 5. They still can't make money.
Okay, now that right there is, you got to read him between the lines, because he said, okay, well, 10 years ago he employed 100 people. Now he employed 5. Well, we don't know how much volume he was doing 10 years ago. 10 years ago he might own 20 olive fields, and today he might only own 1.5. So that might be why he has only 5 employees, okay? But you got to read in between the lines. He's just presenting a narrative, okay? He's presenting the information to support his narrative. That's it. Okay, let's continue.
I'm the guy. He'll be back. But the thing is that I understand that the relationship between men and women are contentious, and you do what you do to try to ameliorate that and try to solve that and give, kind of pass that up.
But nigga, what is he supposed to know about the relationship between men and women? He don't have a woman, and he hasn't had one in years. He's an incel. He's all by himself, but he wants to pass himself off as this relationship guru.
But at the end of the day, this is becoming silly. Because you're standing on the tracks with your kids, and basically the train is blowing away so you can see the light, and people aren't moving. Maybe you know why.
I say that. You don't talk about the fact that maybe the black people. Hold on. I swear y'all can talk, man. I mean, everything you said aligns with the teaching. You know that, BGS. It aligns with the teachings of the Nation Islam, right? And you are communicating it at the seriousness, at the rate that I actually do think it needs to be spoken to. And I don't like scaring people either. I don't like scaring my goddamn self. But Brian, I don't have any pushback on what you just said. The nuances that go on between gender is something that it seems like that we took an interest in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't know. I don't have particular pushback. Was that your opening?
That's my opening. This is what I said on my women's panel last night.
Yeah. And are you saying this to say what is at the root maybe of your seriousness right now, or of your I ain't gonna say you are you becoming impatient, or you just feel like, listen, I don't have time to play?
Oh, the thing is, it's okay. The thing is, it's not I'm becoming impatient, but I've been impatient. The thing is that 5 years in, I came here to end this war on this gender war, so-called gender war on YouTube. It ended, only be rebooted to go back to the same thing. It ended. It ended, and then people dive right back into it. So they revived the old players just so they could keep the battle going. I don't think it's a battle anymore. I think it's just entertainment now. I don't think they're even fighting people. I don't think men and women, really black women on YouTube, are even fighting anymore. It's just entertainment.
Okay.
In my personal opinion, I don't know how you feel, but I'm looking at it. I'm looking at you guys serious. What do we go through the whole 4 years or 10 years for? Just to get back and start it all over again? So this is just entertainment.
Yeah. Go ahead. Rude, you have a question or a comment?
No, I just wanted to say that maybe just black people don't really give a damn about what BGS talking about when it comes to like what's going to happen in the future. Like that whole nihilist mindset of amoral and black people shit. Like, for the reason why black men and women just not either getting together or not caring about automation and all that, because so what? When we get to that point, we now will make a decision based on that point. Just like how any kind of like a hurricane or tornado happened,
All right, now I think this is too fast. I think I might go to 1.25 so that we can hear Rude MP's rebuttal. But let's go.
That's to happen. People now act on it when that point happened, not before. You know what I'm saying?
It's already happening.
All right, it's already happening. I agree. All right, it's already happening. But who give a fuck about that?
Let me address it real quick, okay?
Yeah.
My job is not to give a fuck whether you give a fuck. My job is to tell you what's getting ready to happen. Okay, and then if you
what's about to happen, I want to know.
Okay, like he's some big sage and he's some damn you know, I'm trying to tell you what's gonna happen. Well, how come you couldn't use that same knowledge to help your own kids, BGS? Okay, your son is 30 years old, still trying to play basketball. Your daughter fucked up and, you know, she had her issues, had a baby out of wedlock, she ain't married and all that. You know, you couldn't even help your own kids, so how you gonna help anybody else? But I digress. Let's continue.
It's already happening.
How about you go into detail and tell everybody what's happening?
I have gone into detail.
Yeah, hey, Rue, BGS, all shit BGS kicking you as far as this financial shit and the economy and pretty much the what they said 2025 or 2053 and all that shit. All that shit is real, bro. So
I agree, it's real.
So what he's doing is, like you said, I mean, it is important for niggas need.
And I don't know why Mr. Fantastic feels the need to big up BGS like that. I used to like Mr. Fantastic. I used to fuck with him. Now I'm kind of weary of him because I've been seeing him just eat up BGS's talking points and just that's what I've been noticing a lot lately. Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic used to go. He used to, you know, rebut against BGS real hard. Now all I see this nigga doing is just rehashing the talking points of BGS. That's all I've seen him do lately. But I digress. Let's continue.
You need to get prepared. But if you saying, and like I said, this ain't to come at you, Rude, but to have the attitude of saying like, hey, I'm gonna wait till the storm hits to motherfucking then, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that's not the attitude I'm having. What I'm saying is like black people as a whole, they got that same attitude. Like nothing you can tell them is gonna make them jump on it right now.
You shouldn't even have to.
Hold on a second. Okay. I use this quote after day after tomorrow all the time, and Gab knows what I'm talking about, right? He said, what are you going to do? He asked that white man, what can I do? Because he saw the fucking storm coming. He said, save as many as you can.
Okay.
That's all I'm here for. If it's not for you, bro, it's not for you.
Okay, see, there he go with that savior complex. He couldn't even save his damn kids. But he talking about save as many as you can. Nigga, please, you watch too much goddamn movies. This nigga watch all these damn movies, The Day After Tomorrow, all these old liberal ass apocalyptic movies. Okay. And he thinks that he thinks that you know, it's his job to save everybody. I'm gonna save, nigga. You can't even save yourself. You're 60 years old. You're still working for white people. You should own your own shit by now. You couldn't even save yourself. You can't save nobody else. Let's continue.
If you don't give a shit, you know, you ain't drinking.
Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't give a shit. Let me finish. Don't put words in my mouth. Let me finish. I didn't give a shit.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. If the black people don't give, most of the black people that don't give a shit ain't coming to my channel no way. If you don't give a shit, you know what? I save as many as I can because basically, we determined this 10 years ago. Maybe only like 10 or 15% of black folks are even going to listen to this shit.
Even less than that, nigga. You don't have that big of an audience, and a lot of niggas are starting to turn away from your shit as it is. Okay, because they're starting to see right through you. But let's continue.
I fully expected when I started my channel, I would only get 500 subs. Only 500 people would be interested. I got 30,000. My job is not to care what black people feel about. My job is to tell them what's coming. If that's not you or that's not whoever, I'm good with that.
the overall gist what I'm hearing from is that you would like to see black women get in line behind a black man, though. And what I'm telling you, and telling everybody else, and it's really no sense though for why black women need to follow black men at this point. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're not understanding. Like,
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Now, I might go normal at this point because hold on. Now, RUDEMP said there's no incentive. That's very important. He said the word incentive, and that's one thing that these guys don't talk about. And I've always talked about it. What incentive do you have? Because people aren't just gonna follow you just because you say so or you think so or you think you know what's coming in the future and all this and that. Okay. An incentive comes with the infrastructure that you built. What infrastructure have you built to make it worthwhile for the women to join? And the thing is, BGS and his ilk, they ain't built shit. So what he's doing is he's just coming online trying to scare people. And I know I'm going to scare them. I'm going to tell them that they're going to lose their job to the robots and the C-3PO and fucking R2-D2 going to take their jobs and the trade war and all that, and the banks gon' collapse, and then the dollar gon' collapse, and then the aliens gon' come down from the sky and put chips in everybody's brain, and then everybody gon' be giving birth in an artificial womb. You see what I'm saying? That's the shit this nigga do. Let's continue.
Listen to me for a second, right? Listen to me for a second. I just said it. What I said is not them to get in line behind black men. I don't care who they get in line behind. What I need to say, they get to get right and get serious about
what's the incentive though? That's what I'm saying. Now we're at a time where it needs to be a benefit for white people to get right. Folks living wrong all the way fucked up.
You want the incentive?
All right, what's the incentive though?
It's called survival.
Okay, that's not an incentive, motherfucker. And RUDEMP about to go. I'm gonna let RUDEMP just go in on him. RUDEMP about to really go in on him with that.
No, that's not enough though to make a difference. No way.
If it ain't enough,
follow what you're saying. If
it ain't enough, then it's not enough.
The folks will get to the point where they'll start stealing.
If survival's not enough, then it's not enough.
All right then.
Then if it's survival, if the mere fact of surviving is not enough, then there's nothing that I can say to you that will change your mind.
Yeah. Let Charles come in. You were going to say something.
See, this is the fact that my boy Josh used to say this all the time. People listen to reply and not comprehend. Nobody gives a shit that black women have the right to go do what the fuck they want to do. Just like the black man does. They can marry and date who they want. First of all, when I went to the police academy, I'm not policing nobody's dick. Nor vagina. The fact of the matter is, a lot of motherfuckers are lost. If they don't want to hear the information the man would give. See, the problem with it is that if BGS would have said this to the white community, he'd probably be a rich man right now.
All right, now let's stop it right there. Okay? Because there's people talking that shit in the white community too. And not all of them are necessarily rich. So he's basically saying that if BGS went in front of some white folks and he said the shit he's saying now, white folks would just automatically give BGS millions and millions of dollars. What basis do you have for that? The reason BGS is in front of black people is because white people don't want to fuck with him and be bothered with him. Okay? And then where does this Faulkner Jr. get this mindset that, you know, just because you say something in front of white people, that automatically means you're gonna be rich. If you get in front of a white audience, that automatically means you're gonna be successful. So in other words, you have to get in front of a white audience to be successful. You can't be successful dealing with other black people. You see the mindset? This is a black police officer talking. Okay? And they wonder why they got all these problems with the police officer. And they had the black bailiff in the Amber Geiger trial rubbing the girl's hair and all that shit. Y'all black police officers wonder why y'all don't get the kind of respect from the community that you want to get. And then you come out and you say this kind of shit. Well, if BGS, if he was in front of white people, he'd be a rich man right now. Okay, well, BGS is punching a time clock working for white people. He been working for white people his whole damn life. He ain't built nothing himself. And he's after a lifetime of working for white people, he's still not rich. Okay, so what are you talking about? Let's continue.
Straight up. Black people don't like to learn until they fucking burn their hand on the fucking stove. The whole thing about it, even though Gab was like, I was the one who brought up the question, what do you mean by black men cowardly? And eventually you answered the question. It was something was misconstrued on your part. Or you didn't, like you said, you didn't say it the way it meant to be said.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about if black women do this. Guess what? You may not have a black community in the next 20 years.
That's but we go back, man.
That's not bullshit.
How is it not bullshit? All these children I'm seeing is being born. You're gonna have
how are all these children? Guess what? When your children are starving because you can't find fucking work, how the fuck do you survive?
I can just about guarantee you in 20 years nobody's gonna be starving. It's gonna be just like how it is now. All right, go back 20 years now.
Okay.
People saying same thing.
Do you know how many jobs? Matter of fact, let me ask you this question. Do they have automation at fucking McDonald's?
I'm telling you what I know.
Do they have automation machines at McDonald's? Do they have fucking automation machines at McDonald's and Walmart? Self-service checkouts.
All right. So
yes or no?
That's fast shit, man.
That's bullshit. Answer the goddamn question. Stop bullshit.
You're talking out of your ass with no proof.
How the fuck I'm talking about?
Goddamn emotional for what?
What you talking about?
No proof.
No, that's like the fact of the matter.
You might be dead though, man. So you ain't got even nothing to worry about this shit.
Woo! Did you hear what RUDEMP said? He said in 20 years you might be dead, motherfucker. So what the fuck you can't? Oh shit. He said in 20 years you might be dead, motherfucker. So what the fuck you give a shit? Shit. See, RUDEMP is trying to talk some sense. He's trying to talk practical shit. They talk, well, you're gonna be starving in 20 years. You can be, nigga, you can be on the side of the street corner, nigga. You know what I mean? Charles Faulkner is just a bodyguard for fucking BGS. That's all he is. Whenever BGS is in these rooms like this, you always got motherfucking Charles Faulkner ass up there to fucking wipe BGS's ass whenever somebody get BGS into a fucking corner. He did it with me when I came into this hangout later on. He was there to talk all that, talk shit and all that. Let's continue.
Everybody, hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Rude, let me say this to what you're saying, bro. If
all right, let me get rid of all these notifications.
Things that you see happen, bro, in the community is because people of like minds have seen something coming and gotten together and averted it. So when by the time that generation gets there, somebody is doing something about it to try and avert it. But sometimes there are certain failures of a community to respond to danger or impending problems coming, and we don't respond, and we experience sometimes light turbulence, and sometimes it's a goddamn plane crash. And that's all that they're saying. If we don't feel it in 20 years, it's because we've gotten together with conversations like this to avert it, bro. This is how it works. So y'all come on back in, unmute yourselves. Just try to talk.
What I'm saying, is this, man. The year 2000, all right, 99, 98, 99, man, I was in middle school, and all you heard was people talking like we just talking about. Hey, man, the end of the world is about to come. The end of the world is about to come. Now, look,
Did you hear what I just said, bro?
What's that?
And the reason that it didn't come is because those who are that were having this conversation moved the people to avert some of the problem.
Nah, so it's still the one gonna come though, man.
I'm gonna answer your question real quick. I'm gonna ask you a question. Nope.
Yeah, hold on. Let me real quick. Rude. To Rude's point, I know what Rude's saying. Rude, that was a false understanding or a false flag because of the whole Y2K shit. That's not the same thing as what we're talking here, Rude. This right here is like studies upon studies done economic shit, and this ain't just BGS doing this shit. Brothers in the Black Brain Trust are telling you about this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? World-renowned economists, bro. We never came out of the fucking recession from 2008, bro. There's been band-aids been put on this shit since 2008, and pretty much now, man, everything is building up.
And there he go talking that 2008 shit. So we still ain't come out of the recession in 2008. That shit long. That subprime shit is long over with. How long is niggas like this gonna drag that shit out? You know what I mean? Let's continue. Okay, job market is stronger than it's ever been. But he's sitting there talking about we still in the recession in 2008. Nigga, what the fuck you talking about? I digress.
To a point of where we're going to be the generation, me and you, we're going to be the generation to experience like the downfall of America as the world dominant power that we've always experienced in our lifetime.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Fantastic. We're not. No, it's gonna be. It'll change over change based on certain things come in the play. But like, we're not gonna suffer, dog. Like, our generation not gonna suffer the way these guys are saying we're gonna suffer, though, man. I'm just hear what I'm saying, though, man.
I'm gonna tell you some real shit. I'm gonna tell you some real shit, right?
It's that fear
shit, man. You know how many people got laid off in the federal government alone?
All right, cool.
Do you know how many people are using? Do you know how? Guess what?
It's best for white people to learn how to fucking make money other ways other than relying on this so-called system.
Guess what?
Woo! You hear what RUDEMP said? See, this is what I've been saying. Black people gonna have to learn how to make money in ways other than working for government. Okay? And see, when he said that these BGS and Charles Faulkner, they don't have nothing to refute that. All they can say, well, government this, government that. Because of the demographics of the country, black people are being pushed out of government. You're being replaced by all these other races and stuff. Hispanics, Asians, Indians. Okay? And all of that. But let's continue.
That's what. If white people lose their jobs, see, this is what you need to think about and stop being so goddamn emotional for 5 seconds.
You understand what the emotional shit?
You are being emotional. You're not listening. No, if white people lose their jobs, what the fuck you think is happening to black people? What the fuck you think is happening to black people? If black people are canary in the coal mine, yes or no?
It's telling you in so many words. It's telling you niggas
start black people the canary in the coal mine.
That's what it comes down to.
Where the fuck are you gonna go?
You niggas to start relying on your goddamn self. Quit worrying about the government and what it's supposed to offer you.
Because guess what? If your money falls, what the fuck are you gonna do? Just romanticize the bullshit.
Can I ask you a question?
Why is everybody else coming over here?
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, right.
You about Y2K. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You talking about, remember Y2K, right? They said it's gonna crash, right?
Yeah.
Gab was actually right. What do you think they did during Y2K in 1999? What happened?
And you tell me.
In 1998, a lot of the engineers to rewrite the software, because I had like 3 or 4 programs crash with the Y2K bug. They hired like 2 million Indian engineers that still knew the code.
Okay, now notice he's not gonna cite any of this. If you're gonna have a big number like that and say there were 2 million Indian engineers, you're gonna have to cite that shit. And I looked for that shit online after I heard this, and I did not see that. I did not. He said he had 3 or 4 programs crash because of Y2K. There were no large scale reports of programs crashing because of Y2K. Nigga, you just had a fucked up computer, or your fucking disk was fucking scratched, nigga. That's what the fuck it was. Okay, but let's continue.
And those 2 million Indian engineers, East Indian engineers, actually came in.
Okay, so he keep on saying 2 million Indian engineers, but he's not citing it.
And re-engineered and rewrote all that banking code. Okay. Because they didn't have enough people to do it, which is why.
That's a fucking lie. There's no damn Indians write no damn banking code. Okay. All Y2K was that it was this issue where computers couldn't tell between the difference between the years 1900 and the year 2000. Since most corporations and stuff and computers came into mainstream use in the 1960s, they were using, you know, the year 1900. That was like the reference point. So when the year 2000 came around, they had to upgrade their systems so that the systems could recognize the year 2000 and not mistake it for the year 1900. But a lot of countries didn't even fuck with it. Like countries like Russia, places like that, they did nothing when it came to Y2K, and they were just fine. All it was just a way for these Indian stuff to solidify themselves in the American computer industry. And look who owns motherfucking Google today and owns most of these a lot of these tech companies, these damn Indians. And they got in their foot in the door because that Y2K mess. It just made it just put a bunch of Indians at the top of the tech field. That's all it did. But he making it out to be something different.
Why you see the Indian software giants now? Because they literally went in and actually took sent all these software engineers for India and actually taught them the old code, so they could actually come in and actually rewrite all the code. So all your software after Y2K actually changed. Because they saw this stuff coming. Like Gab said, they saw the stuff coming. They saw the bug coming. They knew they didn't have the engineers in the United States to do it, so they actually went out and they went to East India and taught all those like 2 or 3 million software engineers to actually program and rewrite all their fucking code for cheap because they didn't have enough money, right? Which is why you see all these H-1B visa engine software.
No, they had money. They just didn't want to pay them. They just wanted to get the motherfuckers to do the shit cheap. That's all it was. Because they didn't have enough money.
Engineers coming to Silicon Valley, Detroit, Chicago, and working on all these companies because they came out of that, okay? So they actually averted that. 2008, 2007, 2008. When your banks froze up. Remember that? Remember that crisis? Okay. Remember, I forget his name. Your Treasury Secretary actually getting down on one knee and shedding a tear and crying, hey, if you do not sign this TARP agreement, basically every bank in the world will fail tomorrow. Okay? It was a G7.
And that's a fucking lie. That's just a fucking lie.
They formed the G20 to actually come in and deal with this banking crisis. So basically, they took all your interest rates to zero to basically keep the system going and put all your banks on life support. Your banks have been on life support for 11 years just to keep the system going.
Yeah, okay.
So they averted all the stuff that was getting ready to happen. They averted by doing something.
Pretty much what I'm hearing from you and everybody else is that all these things starting to cut off because now what the people is telling you, the American government is telling black people, it's time for us to start relying on each other, man, and creating a way for ourselves, man. That's it. This is the reason why I don't buy into the whole, the food gonna be short, but goddamn it, you can start hunting your own food. Like I told you last year, I can hunt my own food. If that's the case, what I'm saying, black people are still running around here talking about you relying on another person to make a way for you.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying.
I'm not hearing from you. Your realistic mindset, right? Your talk pattern is that, you know what, it's that time for us to really start going at it with each other. Fuck everybody else. I don't give a fuck about automation. I don't give a fuck about the Y2K, but fuck all that. I give a fuck about my brother.
Okay, the thing is, and this is why I talk the way I do. This is why I actually teach. Okay. You have basically since the birth of the Industrial Revolution, you have added like 7 billion people. Okay, the basic pattern of the world is only built for 500 million people. Without this particular system, basically, you're going to have at least...
Okay, what is that based on? That the world can only sustain 500 million people. That's just some shit he made up. It's not based on anything. There's no indication that the world could... If the world could only hold 500 million people, then we wouldn't have a population as big as it is today. Okay. Let's continue.
80% of your people that cannot live on the old-fashioned system because it's not automated. Machines allow this amount of people to actually survive. There should not be 320 million people in the United States. If you start cutting off the automation, cutting off the machines, cutting off the system that we live on, you're probably going to reduce your population by 50%. Half your population is not working as it is. They're on some kind of form of assistance. It's fed by the government.
Can I build on top of what you're saying?
Go
You have a lot of respect for the Nation of Islam, right? And I'm not saying you respect like all of the ideology of it, but you got a basic respect for them.
You talking about right?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
I got respect for the economic and the military structure of the Nation of Islam. I do.
Right. The undergirding reason for the existence of the Nation of Islam is what BGS is talking about.
Yeah.
The reason that they're building that is because of the fall of America. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what BGS is communicating is all of the how it's falling. You know what I mean? It's the same thing that we teach. So the reason that the men and women built the military structure and trying to get black people to follow some kind of order is for what is seen as impending doom. Okay. Now, you don't have to get religious about it. You can just get into the facts of it. I don't know, what did somebody just fell off?
That was Charles.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, I don't want to necessarily get religious about it.
Okay.
And yeah, but that's what it is, bro. Like, so I know you talk to some of the brothers in your neighborhood. You know, maybe chop it up a little bit about it, man. And it gets serious.
Yeah. So let me ask you this:
I don't like to talk about it because it gets serious.
It's time for us to embrace the Nation of Islam in that case, all right? If the Nation of Islam was smart enough to create it back in the 30s, seeing what's going to happen now, according to what BGS is saying, right? Seeing that this doomsday shit, this apocalyptic bullshit that we hear, right? This nihilistic mindset. Why the fuck even today we don't still embrace now and say, you know what? It's about time for black men to get in line with the goddamn Nation of Islam. It's based on them being an economic and a military base. Why we still resisting them then? If that's the case, if this is our actual power in Black America, then why the fuck we still
That's another conversation.
It's another conversation, but it applies to what's going on right now, though, based on we get people saying it's over with. We doomed. It's almost gone. Like, bro, we got to build military and economic base and we don't even fuck with it. I mean, come on, man. I don't hear nobody talk like that. Like, bro, we need to be in line with Farrakhan and the nation because that's where we need to go as men right now, man. That's going to be our last chance of survival right there.
Well, Farrakhan and the nation get the same pushback that the BGS and a lot of the other content providers get, bro.
BGS don't have an economic or military structure.
No, it does not.
Fuck the pushback. We talking about survival according to BGS, right?
Well, he has more he can rely on.
Oh, okay. There we go. So I spoke out of turn. I'm sorry.
I know he's joking.
Right.
No. Peace to the panel, man. Gav, thanks for having me, man. What's going on? Yeah, I just wanted to kind of echo what Charles Faulkner was saying. And BGS has touched on this many times in the past, but we covered articles last night that are pointing to a economic recession that many black people are not going to be able to recover from, because most black people don't even have a savings account. In order to really wade the waters with this, you're going to need to have some form of at least $1,500 in savings, at least.
Dude, you hear this nigga say most black people don't have a savings account? What the fuck? What the fuck? What is that based on? It's not based on anything. It's just some shit this nigga is throwing out there. And I'm gonna have to make some videos going in on these black brain trust niggas too, because they ain't nothing but a bunch of tech elitists that think that they the black tech gods in the black community, but there are many other people in the black community who deal with tech, but they don't even want to fuck with them. They just want to pretend like they're the only black people who do tech and that kind of thing. And they need to be dealt with too, because they be spewing a lot of the same bullshit, just like BGS be doing. But I digress.
And most black people don't even have $400 in their savings account. So what's happening right now is that you're starting to see a lot, Section 8 vouchers be reduced under Trump administration. You're starting to see subsidies be cut. And you're also seeing...
Okay, he acting like most black people are on Section 8. Most black people are not on Section 8. And the first thing this nigga talk about from the black people is some welfare shit. He don't talk nothing about black people who own businesses, black people who are in a different career field, or anything. You see how elitist these motherfuckers are? These black brain trust motherfuckers?
Retail, which is made up of at least 30%, if not more, of the constituency of retail is African American women, because these are soft science jobs or soft study jobs. So if those jobs are going away at the end of this year, it's going to be even more by 2020.
Okay, that's a lie. He's saying all the jobs are going away by the end of the year because of some recession that hasn't even happened yet, and that may not even happen. Only people pushing this recession shit is these Trump haters and shit. That's the only people pushing this recession shit. Okay? They want there to be a recession so bad, you know, because they think it'll discredit Trump or whatever. Okay? The job market is strong. But you notice how no one's even mentioning that?
You're talking about a massive flow of just unemployed people, unskilled, unprepared, not upskilled. No way they're going to get back into the labor market because of automation. We covered an article by McDonald's who just bought an artificial intelligence company so that they can add artificial intelligence to their drive-thrus. So now they're trying to remove even the drive-thru people.
Mike, what does that have to do with men learn how to hunt their own food, man?
I don't know if you can eat squirrels in the hood, man. I don't know. That's
about you go out in the wild, man, get you a home.
Run the numbers. How many millions of people can actually live off the land?
Yeah. The flaw of that, right?
Run the numbers. Without factory farms that produce your meat, that don't grow your crops, how many people can actually go out and grow their own food?
So now we're talking about survival of the fittest now.
Now,
like what you guys talk about. But maybe go ahead and die here, right? Listen, you have to go ahead and die out at this point. Then, if you don't survive, what's going to come? Then your ass don't need to be living in, huh?
What's going to happen?
I just got to ask you a question. How many people are going to be in your camp?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Give me a number, man.
What I'm asking you is this, though, man.
Give me a number. Give me a number of how many people are in your camp.
I'm trying to tell you guys, hold on.
Give me a number of how many people are in your camp.
All right? If you
no, it's not the fair talk.
Ass die.
Oh, it's not deflective, Wonder Woman. Just give me a number.
I'm not deflective. I'm telling you. My argument is, if your ass takes a while to live on this earth, bro, go ahead and die.
What did I say? 90% of people won't make it, right?
All right. So we don't worry about it.
But you just told me that wasn't true.
I didn't say that wasn't true. What you talking about?
Yes, you did. You just said that. You said that in 20 years, you said 20 years people are still going to eat. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You just told me everything's going to be fine. No, you just told me. You just told me. You just told me that in 20 years everything's going to be fine.
I'm telling you right now, you're not fit to survive.
No one can hear you. No one can hear you.
One at a time, y'all.
All right, what I'm saying to BGS, if you're not fit to fucking survive, go ahead and die. That's it. That's all down too.
Can I respond for a second? You just told me 20 minutes ago that everything's going to be fine in 20 years. You just said that.
I said, yeah, according to what I'm saying, man, ain't nothing going to change, man.
Exactly. So
basically, we live in the work, do what we do, man. Ain't none of this shit really going to change, man. Because it would have changed 20 years ago.
See what I'm saying, Mike? What I tell you, Mike? What I told you 2 years ago.
Black people are just not prepared for what's about to come, and it's going to hit them so hard.
Let their motherfucking ass die, Mike.
What I'm saying,
all right, let them die.
People don't care much about their own Bible. They fucked up, man. It's nothing. I need to be spiritual, bro. I just let it be known as that. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you what it is. If you guys don't give a fuck about what I'm saying, just die off. Cool. And then we out you niggas anyway.
Let me respond to what you respond.
Wait. Hold on, real quick, Rude. Like, nah, bro. I think you got it all the way fucked up, man. This ain't gonna be like a survival of the fittest and so on and so forth for the most part, bro. It's gonna be like mostly economic, man. And if you don't have dollars and money, that's what they're trying to tell you to fucking make it. If you don't have any, that's
what you eating. Fantastic. We talking about you been able to eat, put something in your mouth and eat, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck the money side of it. We're talking about if you get some water, bro. You don't really need land to do that. That's actual strength that we can under. Is that we trying to have so much money trying to compete with the rich man, bro. We talking about
competing with the rich man at this point, bro. It's about, again, it's trying to fucking save it and survive at what you can and build what you can to make it through this fucking storm coming, bro. Again, this is trying to talk about money, bro. Listen, this is about you.
Trying to live up to a certain standard, bro. We talking about just surviving.
But Rude, that's what I'm telling you, Rude. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, bro.
So surviving is freedom. Fantastic. Surviving is freedom, bro.
No, it's not.
I just feel, my nigga, get your food, bro. That's free.
Rude, let me break this shit down to you, Rude. If it came to the point of where, like, this is a fucking survival of the fittest and so on and so forth, bro, I can tell you this. Like they said, 90+% of motherfuckers is not gonna make it. For one, everybody's gonna have access to a gun and all this other shit, and we get into some real diabolical shit down to the nitty-gritty of where, hey, I got my shit, you gotta take it from me to get it. You niggas is not gonna survive.
Most predominantly black neighborhoods and cities and towns are red districts. So it's hard.
Y'all don't even have guns, you don't believe in them. Like, how the hell are you gonna hunt for something and and most of you don't even live near the woods?
Most animals are actually protected so that you can't hunt them for that very reason.
And then on top of that, one of the worst places to be in a major disaster is an urban and fucking environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fear fucking.
There ain't no fear.
See, now this is just all. You see how they all just try to gang up on the brother with that fear talk. It's just it's 4 niggas versus 1, and RUDEMP he's doing well against these guys. You know, he's doing real refuting these guys.
And fucking went to the fucking war zone. I've seen this shit live.
What's Rude? I'm with you 100% Rude.
I've seen this shit live for almost 2 fucking years.
Drive through some parts of Texas, man.
We know Rude. We know, man. We know.
I bet you.
We're gonna start. I'm gonna start coming to your channel so you can teach us, man.
I'm gonna show you. All right.
I'm gonna start coming to your channel so you can teach us. I'm gonna start coming to your channel so you can teach us. I want to learn. I'm gonna start coming to your channel.
Come on, man.
Everybody need to be fearful like that.
I'm coming to your channel. I'm coming to your channel so you can teach us.
All right, cool.
Let me do this real quick. I think the points actually have been communicated already. I actually understand what Rude is trying to communicate, and I think he's in some ways misinformed, but he's saying he's got that get up off your ass approach, and in order to survive, that's what we're gonna have to do. And he does not want to preach the biblical disaster. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Gab, and I've said this a lot this year. You know, and my subs can actually witness this to it. I said it's probably time for me to leave and just bounce.
Yeah, it's about time, man.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you.
God damn. And RUDEMP, he was like, yeah, it's about time, man. You know, I feel the same way. I think it's time for BGS to retire from YouTube my damn self. But that's just my opinion.
And that's on you for that, big bro. But I appreciate your contribution to this type of discussion. And hopefully, I'm
talking about my channel. You know, just
y'all man, nobody want to hear that fear talk, man.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah, somebody talking about goddamn common sense. It's called foresight.
It's common sense, so you ain't got to even preach your shit if it's common sense.
It's called foresight.
If y'all don't get y'all shit right, your ass is not going to make it. That's common sense.
I just said that.
I said put fear in young people's hearts, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Not even for the young people.
That's what I agree with. You're just trying to put fear in young people's hearts. That's right.
It's cold, man. It's apocalyptic. Nigga, the end of the world's coming, bro. Y'all better get out of here, bro.
Let me ask you a question. What are you doing for your children so they can survive?
Man, look. I'm teaching them how to fucking hunt first and foremost. All right. So my son have been with me many times to hunt. All right. Okay.
So you go out. If you go out for weeks and pitch a tent, so he can actually survive on the land and know how to actually survive without fine running water, actually filter running water, field dress field dress the animals, know how to get the parasites out, all that kind of stuff, right?
It's all kind of shit, man.
Yeah. Without the benefit of any kind of technology.
You fucking just do it like how the frontiersmen used to do, man. You do
That's
what you do, right? That's simple.
Well, break it down to me. How did it? Let me ask you a question. I'm asking you a question.
Come on, man.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
I didn't break it down on all the other shit you're talking about. How about you come with me and I'll show you how to break it down. I'll break it down in front of you.
I'm asking you a question, okay? Can I ask you a question?
All right.
How do you preserve the meat? Because you're not gonna have refrigeration. How do you preserve the meat?
We use salt. I use salt to preserve my meat. All right. I use salt. That's why I put it on salt. So I soak it in salt and I rinse the salt off, man, when I'm ready to cook it. That's the times I can actually win hunting. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with this shit. I can teach my son that part. Him and my daughter. Teach them both. This is what you can do to get your meat. If anything, man, go back out again when you run out of meat to do it again. And it's gonna take patience though. But if you gather enough up, but then like say, if you can get you about 2 kills a day, that's good though. Depending on if you go. If not, if you're gonna rely on a grocery store, then your ass ain't gonna know how to eat. That's what I'm saying. If you want about survival, it's not about no money. It's about putting something in your goddamn stomach. That's it.
Have you researched how frontiersmen actually survived with and hunted 200 years ago when there was no technology? Have you researched that?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, what they used to do was when they had salt, but they also used to use berries, right?
That's right.
The kills that they used to get out in the woods, whether it's rabbit or whatever they could actually find, they'd actually salt it, but they would actually use fruit and they would actually cook it and they would make a mush so be like a protein bar, like a protein berry bar, and that's how they used to survive because even if you salt the meat will still rot over time. Salt is not going to In other words, what you're using is hunting techniques in the 20th century, and not without technology that existed 200 years ago.
But put it like this, though, I would be a whole lot better than a lot of you niggas, though. All right, when it comes to whatever I need to learn, I'll find out in real time.
All right.
You can have all the squirrels and
my food.
You can have all the squirrels and pigeons you want. If it tastes like chicken, knock yourself out. But what I'm saying here is, we've been talking about this on the Black Brain Trust for over a year. That something big is coming. Eviction.
I want to know what's coming. I want to know what's coming, though. What's big is coming. I want to know.
I explained it to you, but that's fear porn.
It's dealing with you relying on something else, not you relying on yourself. Though. No. Film on this part, though. Film on this part. You guys never say anything about, something big is coming to where now the black man is going to rely on himself. That's the reason you guys don't talk about this shit. You talking about relying on somebody else to provide for you got to provide for. I don't hear you niggas talking like, man, look, the black man is about to learn how to rebuild Wall Street.
Win.
Hold on, hey, let me go real quick. Rule. How many people fucking actually can fucking show and prove, bro, under pressure, under the gun? How many motherfuckers are actually stand 10 toes down, stand tall, and come through? Bro, this is the worst possible time for motherfuckers to have to show and prove, bro, in the fight. Nigga, like,
any man, bro.
I'm going to back that. Hold on, Rule. Let me rock.
But it's not in the fridge. Show and prove. His ass is show and prove.
Rule. Rule, I'm telling you, dog. His survivor's on the line. His ass going to do some shit he never would have done before.
Anyway,
the worst time to learn a new skill is under pressure.
Every man got it in him.
I jumped in.
Every man got it in him.
Yo, hold on. Let BGS wrap up, man. I think he's going to go ahead.
Okay, all right,
BGS, what were you saying?
I was, now you know the reason I really don't come out and do this a lot. This is where youth can.
Yeah, we know why, because you don't like being under pressure. That's why you don't like coming out doing this. You like it when it's just a bunch of niggas sitting around, nodding their heads and saying, You don't like to be challenged. That's why you don't come out and do this shit a lot.
Kind of makes you tired, man. But they got to do what they got to do,
What I'm saying is that the people that follow me know 5 years ago, I used to get this a lot. I don't get this on my channel. I don't get this very much. Yes. Even Mike at one time disagreed with me. The thing is, once you start digging into, because this is a lot of stuff they're not telling. I post a lot of stuff that I actually knew was actually coming. I actually posted like as it pops up. I said, okay, remember we talked about this? Now this is going on. I remember the truckers hated me 5 years ago. Truckers hated me 5 years ago. They will never automate. Trucking will be around for the next 20 years. There's plenty of work out there. Man, they got trucking firms, man, closing left and right. Man, I have truckers emailing me, saying, man, I ain't found work in 5 days. I haven't found a load in 5 days. In other words, the very things that we talked about 5 years ago is now starting.
All right, now that's, again, more inaccurate information because a lot of trucking companies are going under just because of poor business decisions. It has nothing to do with the industry itself. There's still a lot of freight that needs to be shipped. Okay. There's a lot of cargo that needs to get from point A to point B. Okay. But he's just twisted it to fit his narrative as usual.
Come to pass. I warned people about even McDonald's kiosk, man. I warned them about that three years ago, man. Now it's getting to a point where they're actually doing it in the drive-thru. I warned about the retail apocalypse 3 years ago. Okay, now what Mike is telling you about 30% of women are going to lose their job because the retail is going. I said that we said 2-3 years ago when Trump came in, he's going to start slashing the budget. You know this, Gab. You've seen it on my channel because you disagree with Section 8 and welfare and all this kind of stuff. They're going to start slashing it, right? I said that they were planning on slashing it when Trump first got. Before Trump got it, they started already slashing it before Trump.
I didn't disagree with that. Like there's a number of ways that's been communicated to us, man. Things that were going to cause problems for survival in America and in the world throughout. So the collapse. It's a number of ways that shit can harm us, dude.
Yeah. We basically This is. I'm going to say this to Gab, and then I'm gonna bounce right. After 2008, basically, I think the budget you know, the Trump budget was a little under $5 trillion, right? It was under $5 trillion when Trump left office, right? Before the banking collapse, right? Obama, to his credit, whether we like him or not, whether we think he's a good president, a bad president or not, right? He saw this coming. Obama basically spent almost $15 trillion keeping the ship afloat. He extended, Obama extended unemployment benefits. He extended something like 2 or 3 years when unemployment benefits was only supposed to be 6 months. They raided the Social Security system, put people on Social Security. They actually quadrupled the food stamp because there was only 10 million people getting food stamps. Okay, Obama allowed it to go up to 45 million people. Okay, they extended a whole lot of welfare benefits, Section 8, all the kind of stuff that they spent trillions of dollars. He spent $15 trillion over 8 years just to keep this system afloat, and that's not including what the Fed spent on the banks. In other words, they spent like $100 trillion just to keep the system afloat over 10 years. Okay, that money at some point, and I said this, at some point that money's got to run out. The credit card is going to start turning red. It's going to start declining. The credit card is spent now. Okay, at some point they're going to have to start declining your credit card. The world is starting to decline the United States credit card. Russia and China are not taking American bonds anymore. Okay,
just covered that last night.
We just covered that last night. So in other words, what we're seeing is the foreclosure on the debts that the United States owes. The United States is $200 trillion in debt. At some point, that has to be paid or it has to be resolved. Okay, the resolution is coming. Now you can read into it what you will. If you think that nothing's going to happen, God bless you. Okay, I'm here to tell you this is what they're saying. This is what the experts are saying behind it.
What they said, nigga.
Okay, now I got something to say about that. A lot of that stuff is just this trade war. Okay, the U.S. not taking, or China and Russia not taking U.S. bonds and that kind of stuff. A lot of that, we are in a trade war right now. It comes with the territory. Okay, but the world isn't gonna end just because China and Russia have decided to stop taking U.S. bonds. That doesn't mean that the world's gonna fucking end. Okay, it's just something that we're going through right now. But see, this nigga, he blows this shit up into making this big apocalyptic thing. And that's what he do. But to support his narrative. But it's not. It's not actually. Doesn't mean it's gonna go down the way he say it's gonna go down. Necessarily. You know what I mean?
Rude.
A little bit more respectful.
Rude, if you want to talk to me, man, I'll open up one. We can have a one-on-one. If you have something to say to me instead of being on, because I am really trying to be respectful on Gab.
Come on, man. You gotta talk about this. You gotta be an adult about this shit, man.
Gab knows I'm trying to be respectful.
All right, we open your business. I'll come where you at, and you be disrespectful. Then cool, all right?
Okay.
See, the problem, motherfuckers like you. Y'all be the same motherfuckers talking all this stuff.
Hey, man,
you talking all this stuff. I'll give you the first motherfucker lost. I've seen many motherfuckers like that.
Get off the nigga dick, man.
I ain't about no nigga dick. First of all, you decided to handle.
He's talking to me, nigga. He's not talking to you.
Rude. I will deal with it in 30 minutes. I'm trying. I came on to talk to Gab. Okay, I didn't come on here to argue with you. I'm talking to Gab because I'm trying to clear something up with Gab. Okay, because Gab came on my channel to clear things up, and I owe him the same courtesy to come on his channel and clear things up at meetings of the minds. I didn't come here to argue with you. Okay, I didn't come here to argue with you about the facts on the ground. All right, I'm trying to clear it up with Gab. Okay, I'm explaining to Gab what I see. I'm not talking to you right now. Okay, this stuff has been backed up. The Black Brain Trust, for their credit, man, they have gone through this, man, with a fine-tooth comb, and nobody's listening to them. Okay, this stuff is already here. This stuff already sits. They have been talking about this goddamn budget since 2009 when Obama first came in, right? They have been talking about these goddamn banks for 10 years, okay? This stuff is the high-level stuff that nobody, especially in the black community, even talks about, which is why I'm here. I'm not here to argue about argue with people about what they hope, what they think, what they feel, okay? And my job is simply to tell you this is what's happening, this is what I see. And the headlines will actually verify whether I'm right or wrong. And that's all. So the thing is, this is about black men and women. I've been warning black women for the last 4 years, which is why I'm harsh on them. You don't have time for this foolishness, okay? You ain't got time for this kind of stuff, because the thing is, the other women already see this and they're already competing. You know, I'm in California. The Latinas in here, man, they are going gun ho because they know what it is to survive. Okay, the Latinas are not playing. The white women for your upper level men, and basically I talk to guys that are in upper level like Mike. Mike is not a poor dude, okay? He sees it in his profession. He sees it all the time. The white women and the Asian women are coming in because they know they need a certain kind of guy to survive, okay? And they're going after. The black women are oblivious to this. It's like, I don't understand you guys. I don't understand. You're gonna have to change your attitude. You're gonna have to change your talking points. I know that you say you don't need your men. You don't care what they say. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about what black men do. They're gonna have to show and prove. The time for that is over, in my opinion. You're gonna have to come clean. And basically, 2019 is probably the last chance. 2020 is going to be a different story.
You know what?
I will talk to you. I will talk to you in 30 minutes.
All right, stay tuned for part 3. Be up shortly. Thanks for watching.
All right, so I'm gonna cut it off right there. I might analyze the next one that Gab puts up there. But let me know what y'all think about this. Peace.